Good morning and welcome to AI AM AM AI.
AMAI.
Jeez, I'll never get that right.
Just start saying A and put another letter after it and keep repeating it. Eventually, you'll hit the combination.
So, we generally talk about AI news, but we also have we both like UX a lot, obviously. So I figured I would show you just a website that I ran across this morning that was absolutely gorgeous.
Okay.
Config.com.
Config.com.
I know.
Interesting.
I
What a
know. I know.
domain name, by the way.
It's amazing. So
So let's take a look here.
I'm not gonna say anything until you've gone through it once.
All right. We're going to take a look at config.com. That's config.com, yeah?
Yep.
Config.com, not config.ai. Okay. Student pressure hardware teams and config. This is very cool. Oh, look at that. I love these kind of things. Oh, a little isomorphic explosion there. What is this thing?
Keep going. Yeah, you'll have to you have to see this.
Huh. Groundbreaking design management. Wait. First is kind of version control design just for hardware. Configure check annotate and prevent critical decision off. What in the world? One-click bill of materials. I mean, this obviously it's a gorgeous site. I don't yet know what it does.
So click on draw up, scroll up. Oh, down. Sorry, just like barely up. Yes, yeah. Go down a little more. A little more. And then one, I will say I really like the logo thing there where they hid the logos that they don't have yet. Right. So right there.
That is really cool. That's actually a really interesting approach to that pattern. I've never seen that. Interesting.
I haven't either. So I was doing UX review work this morning. And so anyway, this is a project management system specifically for hardware teams who are designing hardware products.
Okay.
So it's about figuring things out, looking at all the layers, having commentary.
So what we're looking at right now here is essentially you know what this is? You know what this is? This is what I built. I built a thing, review cycle. Have you seen that?
No.
This is review cycle for hardware.
Oh yes, I think I did look at review cycle with you.
So review cycle is a thing that I made that, quite honestly, I don't even know if this works. I don't know where I'm paying for this. I'm paying for this somewhere.
I was gonna say, did you have Drift in there for free, or like you still paying for shit without even remembering?
I mean, that would be sort of look at it. It still fucking works. So like I built this app and the idea was that you could put a design in here and then you could be like, hey, I want to like, you can add notes, right? So I could be like, hey, can we make this band green? And I can save that. And then I can have like, I don't think it'll work. Like some parts of this are not going to work, right? But I could like leave notes on it, have conversations about it. Like, and then you could also upload different versions and add version history, right? So that you could see how the design evolves through the commentary. Anyway, that's what this is. And in fact, the layout is kind of similar. It's that for hardware. Really interesting. This is really cool.
And then you add in parts and shipping and like all the things that you have to do to manage it. And by the way, the bento box pattern here is one of the cleanest I've seen. You see that? Like,
I was gonna say this is that bento box, very Apple-esque type of pattern here that is beautiful.
But do you see the slight gradient at the bottom of each of them? It's just so clean.
Right. I mean, those are the touches, right? Like, and that's, these are the things, like when we talk about last mile design, like that last 20% of polish that like is very hard to get to. It's very, 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 very hard to get to that last 20%. It's easy to make something look fine, it's very hard to make something look exceptional. And those details, slight gradient here, those details are the things that push it over that last 20%.
Yes, like the people who built this knew what they were doing. One,
100%.
they understood their domain. Two, they understood design. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is gorgeous.
You know what's funny about this? That is, wait, I think it's twosap.co. Oh, no, it is not. That is the same logo for twos.
Well, Two's has the string written on it on the finger, so
Yeah, I guess that it's slightly tilted. But
uh,
otherwise, it's
so
I think the exact same graphic. It is the exact same graphic. No, it's very close.
it's yeah, it
That's funny.
is. But it
Anyway,
is. I just wanted to show it to you because, like, rarely do I come across sites that are this polished. This is like
yeah,
an Apple level of polish for a random website.
yeah, yeah. It's really, really good. It's really,
Um,
really good.
yeah, no, I ran across it. I was looking at like a collection of design links this morning, and they're like, "Hey, this isn't really about design. It's just the website's gorgeous." And I was like, "All right, I got to check it out."
Yeah. I mean, it is about design in that the design of this website is really, really well done. You know what's something that I think I want to build? Um, and I'm just gonna give away here on this podcast.
Ideas are a
Is
dime a dozen.
Yeah, exactly. Um, like if you look at like this element here, right? For example, these are beautiful cards, right? In this bento box pattern, right?
Yep.
And I might be tempted to rip this off for my own design, right? And so what I would do, generally speaking, is I would go inspect this element, right? And I
Oh,
would look
nice.
to see if I can figure out like what are the styles, like how much shadow do they have on this? What is the color? Like what's the gradient look like? What is the right? I have to go into these like 20 pixels of border radius, et cetera, so on, right? So, and they're using Tailwind, as you can see.
I
This
was
is
gonna
all
say you don't
Tailwind.
have to do shit. You just copy the whole
Yeah,
component.
you
You're
but
done.
I want to build a Chrome extension that is a Figma plugin to where I could just select an element and it will copy all the styles and create a style package in Figma to replicate that element in my own design. So I could be like, copy this, and it would just pull it out, create all the styles, and then like if I want this card, I can just like one click hit it in Figma and get all these exact styles into my Figma design.
So I appreciate that, and I'm pretty sure if you Google that, you'll find one.
I would
Um,
think I probably would, right? It seems obvious.
yeah, I think you
Um,
would.
yeah.
So the other thing I want to saw, one of the other thing I wanted you to try was the try Leap.ai.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about this. And we might even want to get into this and look at it and
Yeah,
see how it
I'm
works, right?
yeah for
I
sure.
saw this last night when you sent it over, yesterday afternoon, whatever, but I haven't gotten a chance to actually log in and see what this is about. So let's go through the website and talk about what it does. Then maybe we'll log in and kick the tires a little
Well, so I think one of the things is if you don't have your own tech stack and if you're not a developer, building the workflow. Yes, it's a solved problem if you're a developer. There are thousands of toolkits out there to do that. But if you're not a developer and you don't want to spin up your own thing, it's actually kind of hard to
bit. Yep.
build daisy chained AI prompts.
Yep.
And that's really
And
what this is.
and I would even argue, quite honestly, even if you know how to build, I mean, I'm a developer. I've been writing code for 25 years. I could write the code, but writing code sucks. And it takes I mean, it doesn't suck, it's fun, but it takes a while. It's buggy. You got to stand up an environment. There's all of the like muckety muck that comes with it. If I can use a no code tool to get the same results or pretty close to it, I'm probably going to do that all day, even as a developer. Right.
Yeah, first of all, one of the things, I'm a product manager at heart, right? So
Yep.
I'm kind of technical. I kind of like UX. I really like business, but I'm not, well, maybe I'm okay at business, but I'm not fantastic at UX, and I'm not fantastic at development. But the thing is, product managers, one of their most important skills is to know when you should actually build something. And the idea that, hey, I should go build this my own is something that I think is not the smartest idea now, unless you have a specific use case that needs it. And even using open source tools, borrow, right? Build, borrow, or buy.
Yep.
Even using open source tools, that's a lot of infrastructure, as you said, to manage.
Yep.
Sometimes the best decision is to buy,
Absolutely.
because oh my, it costs $1 instead of 50 cents. Well, okay. Or you could have spent $100,000 building it and then $20,000 a year maintaining it, and
Exactly.
have a product that's inferior because you have one person in your company working on it instead of 100 people whose full-time job is to make the product better.
Yep.
And so buying is frequently the best decision. And anyway, I'm not saying that about this necessarily, but we'll take a look at it.
Let's take a look. So build powerful AI workflows in minutes, automate your work in minutes. So we know it's going to build some kind of AI workflows. I'm not going to watch that video. I hate videos. It's the way to communicate how the app works. I don't have the patience. Cool. Some big people use it. That's good. Automate workflows for your role and business. So it looks to me right now like this is like Zapier for AI, kind of. Um,
I took a quick look at it last night, so I won't say anything.
okay. All right. So it
It's
seems
again,
interesting.
it's another interesting site. If I had to guess, it's Tailwinds. It's probably using a whatchamacallit,
Template,
a template.
man.
Yeah, thank you. Can't think of, I can't. Words are hard.
uh, okay. I don't know how I plan to use Leap. All right. So let's see. Okay, headshot generator, avatar generator, stable diffusion image generation. Fine. Okay. So all of these so far are interesting. Train a custom image model. Huh.
Yes, and so why would you do that? And I actually think this is really cool, because getting stable, repeatable websites is really hard, or repeatable images is really hard from AI. So training that is actually super interesting, because let's say you want, like a lot of the really good websites, all of your employees to have a really nice headshot for your website. You would
Yep.
train the headshot creator, and it would go ahead and do that.
Yep.
Like,
Really interesting. Okay, so this is simple website summarizer. I mean, nothing ChatGPT can't easily do, right?
yep.
Generate
By the
music.
way, support ticket summarizer. I don't know if you saw that. That I thought that was interesting. But generate music's probably more fun for everybody else.
Yeah, let's
Um,
see here. Let's do
Lincoln
pop
Park.
punk.
Oh,
What were you thinking?
Lincoln Park.
Okay, which is also pop punk.
But more specific. But now let's do like a love ballad,
A love ballad.
which
Slow.
like that combination would be, and then I don't know, 30 seconds is fine.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
By the way, I heard him do an acoustic to like an Adele song, and I was like,
Oh
wow,
yeah.
he's got an amazing voice. And I
Oh, the
didn't,
guy from Lincoln Park. He does.
yeah.
He has a great voice. Oh yeah.
I was
I
like,
really
what?
need to listen to more of them. I never was into Lincoln Park when they were popular, as I was like with most artists. I like for whatever reason when they were popular, I went into them, but now I am into them. I need to listen to like some of their records from front to back, because they are a really tight, really good band. They write really great music, really well produced. And that guy's voice is silly, silly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like the one band that I could think of, right? I'm not a huge music person like you are, so what somebody else I met recently, he's like, he sends me this video of him at a concert. I'm like, who's that? He's like, oh god. Actually, really funny story. I was at I was at a concert like 15 years ago for a corporate event, and it
Yeah.
was Darius Rucker, right? And I'm like, hey,
Oh man, Hootie the Blowfish, my favorite band in the world,
well,
by the
yeah,
way.
okay. So I didn't even know he was from Hootie and the Blowfish, and I'm I'm
That's
like
amazing.
I'm like 6 rows back, right? Because it's a corporate event. There's only like 30 rows total. And I send this picture to um my best friend and my wife, and I'm like, hey, this I'm at a country music thing. This is like so boring. And then they're like, dude, that's Hootie, or like from Hootie and the Blowfish. I'm like, what? And then like 5 songs later, he busts out some old songs. And I'm like, oh, I recognize these.
That's
And they're
amazing.
like, that is so pathetic.
So while this is waiting, let me tell you my favorite, like, got into a place I didn't belong story that involves Hootie and the Blowfish. So when Hootie and the Blowfish has been like one of my longest, my favorite bands since I was like 14.
Oh,
Since they put out
it's ready.
Oh, okay. And then I'll say the story.
Yeah, then you could start. Sorry.
Yeah. All good. Let's see.
Volume up. Oh, I can't hear it.
Okay,
Oh,
I don't know that I hear any Linkin Park in there, but maybe you put like a little synthesizer.
well, I literally heard nothing. So,
Oh, you didn't hear anything. Oh,
no,
you can't hear that. Let me
that's all right. It's all right.
here. Hang on. You'll hear it right now. I'm gonna put this up to the speaker.
It's very intermittent. I wouldn't say it's very good, but
Yeah. Yeah, so it didn't quite work. But that's
all right.
okay. That's okay. Like with all of this stuff, it doesn't matter if it's perfect right now. That's not the point. The point is that you can start to do this kind of thing and it will only get better, right?
Yeah, so I would say let's go to workflows, and then you can tell your story while we're you're also building one of these.
Yeah.
If you go up, right, you can create your own, or is there somewhere? Yeah, create a
Yeah,
workflow from
create
scratch.
from scratch. So let's look and see how we do this. So we can add inputs and steps. Great. So okay, so we have different inputs with short text. So these are like prompts. I guess it's interesting that like you can do a yes, no.
Well, you're adding input types, right? So
Right.
you create a label, and then so what you're doing, just like they put in a website, right, for the website summarizer.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. This is my first input. Um, do something here. Choose
Yeah.
from him. Right. Okay. Did I? Okay. Okay. So let's also do a Boolean. I'm just curious about this Boolean. You want it funky? Oh, you can't put a punctuation for a Boolean? Like this literally I want to ask a question. Whatever. Um, maybe.
Yes, no, and you put maybe, of course.
I
Of course.
I
Um,
have a past career in QA. Okay, so then this is where the meat and the potatoes are, right? So now we take the inputs and we do something with them. So we can generate text, we can generate image, we can generate music, we can generate video. We can, okay, cool. So then we can send a message to a Slack channel and do other third, like kind of output integrations. And then we can
yes.
also, now, here is what is so important.
Well, scrape a website is like that's actually really cool for it to be baked
This
in.
make an HTTP request, the fact that they just have a built-in wrapper for a RESTful request is the most important part of this system. And the reason is because now I can gather information from anywhere. I could say, take in the name of a city, pass that along here, make an HTTP request to a weather API using the name of the city I passed in, get a weather forecast back, take that and send it to Slack, for example, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I would actually
I
go to
could even be like, get this weather report and then rewrite it in the form of, I don't know, somebody funny.
so I would do AI text though, because that's the easiest.
Yeah. Let's do something with llama. I never do something with llama. Okay, so you've got all of the the API parameters here, C, top K, top P, prompt, etc. I'm assuming that this prompt is going to be filled in by connect your replicate account. I don't know what a replicating is.
Okay, so basically they're not paying for your API usage, which by the way, this is the best way for them to create a stable and profitable
100%.
business.
100%.
Um,
Okay, I'm not going to do this right now because I don't want to have to go back and re-edit this and kill that API key. But interesting. So yeah,
so
you put in.
go back to the workflow though. So in that step, how do you use the fields that you
Well,
use?
that's what I'm curious about. Is like,
So go to add entry.
oh, that's
Nope.
just adding a
Uh,
new a new field to the post request to the API. Um, I don't think I'm going to be able to
okay.
say that until
Actually,
I.
so go back to exit this real quick. Yeah, exit. I have a way for us to figure this out.
Okay.
Click on any one of the other discover workflows,
And edit it.
and yeah, and then so SEO blog generator. Let's click on that one,
Okay, cool. Okay.
and then go to clone template because
Nice.
there's 4 fields there, right? So we'll see how they use.
Yep. Okay, so blog topic, keyword to target, company URL, blog URL. So these are all inputs, a form.
Okay,
And then this URL, your company URL, is
so
that
that's the name of
variable
it.
name?
Yep.
Oh, variable name. Okay, yeah. So you put a variable name in, and then this uses this. I don't love that UX. You should be able to map these variables by selecting them. There should be a syntax for the variables, probably something like that, but whatever. I mean, it'll get there. But that makes sense now, right? So then you can, yeah.
There you
So
go. Go to the generate blog post. So this is once you've done it. Now this is your mapping.
system prompt and user prompts.
So this is a
Oh,
system prompt, and it's automated based upon the input fields that you've used, and it'll put all of them in there.
I don't know what that does.
No clue.
I don't
But
know what that.
now it makes sense. It makes sense,
Yeah.
right? So
Yep.
you're doing it, then you're mapping it, and then you're putting it all in there, and now you're doing a generate image, and they have a specific uh
Prompt.
prompt for that, and a
Yep.
negative prompt as well, which is
Negative
good.
prompt. Yeah. 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 Yep.
But I would say, this is actually not that intuitive. It's not terrible.
It's not
Um,
terrible.
it's not terrible, but I think like yes, I'm biased because I work on it, but I think SAS Rocks mapping is better, where you have the prompt editor, and while you're typing, you can just select the variables
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
inside the prompt.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that some of the variables, yeah, selection stuff is a little bit wonky, but I do like, I mean, overall though, this is obviously a very strong, it's Zapier. It's Zapier for AI, effectively. I mean, quite honestly, you could probably do all of this with Zapier, actually.
You know what? I haven't tried to do anything with Zapier and um ChatGPT.
I promise you can easily. You can build this exact same thing. Make an HTTP request, get the content back, take the content, send it up in AI. Da, 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 da. Now, you would have to, though, in order to do that, see what they have done, though, for you is they have gone ahead and set all the, which honestly, Zapier might have the same thing
I
set
was
up
gonna
too.
say, like, I almost feel like we should do an exploratory session on Zapier with AI. Um,
Let's see. Oh, yeah. See, look at this. I've already got it
I'll click the link
in the,
before we do it. Let's see what the link looks like.
okay. So, like all of Zapier stuff, right? They have a landing page for each thing and they talk about all the other things that you could hook up to it. So,
Which, by the way, as a marketing SEO nerd, these comparison pages and these competitor pages are just fantastic for SEO.
yes, yeah, it's one of the biggest. I think this is probably one of the most successful SEO landing page strategies that has been done. actually.
Yeah. I mean, by the way, products and integration pages for other people, these are all almost always make sense because look, they have 6,000 app connections. That's 6,000 landing pages, right? Like,
Yep. Yep.
um,
Yep. Okay, so let's look and see what it would take to
well, while we're
build
doing
this.
that, so like config is like one of my new favorite sites, like that I've randomly stumbled across. Just how pretty was that? Oh, interesting.
Scrape. Okay. A website that I give you and write a summary of it using OpenAI. I'm telling you, this is where everything is going. Everything is going to just talking to the computer and telling it what you want to do.
Um,
Edit, not author.
edit, not author. Yeah.
Right. So
So
here's my Zap. Here, get an HTML response from quick scraper. Send it. I mean, it built the thing. Jesus.
see, this is way better, right?
I'm not
Actually,
sure yet.
go back,
I'm
go back,
sorry.
go back. Yeah, sorry, I hate to say this, but go back and let's try it again instead of this one.
Okay.
So now say take a bunch of inputs from a form. Okay.
But what inputs we need to probably tell it what.
Uh, I would like to ask a user a number of questions. Let's see how it deals with this. I actually would love to see how this does it. I'd like to ask a user a bunch of questions and take those questions and map them into a prompt. Have the query response go into chat GPT into a, and return the results. So, and then the result in a spreadsheet. Ha, right? Because that's like,
Oh, yeah, great. Into it. So let's get specific so that it can actually do it, because I think we have to be very specific. So let's say ask the user for a city and a type of food, write a blog post about the quality of that food in that city using AI, and then export that blog post with appropriate hashtags to an Excel spreadsheet.
perfect.
Okay. Ask the user for a city and a type of food, both regular text inputs. Take those inputs and send them to OpenAI, asking it to write a blog post about that type of food in that city. Export the content of this blog post to a spreadsheet, including a column for popular hashtags.
All right. So this is a little bit more complicated, but I like the other one was
If this works, though,
we may be having some real fun with Zapier over the next couple of weeks.
yep, yep.
And by the way, I have to buy it anyway for the course that I'm doing. So
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, let's see. So it obviously wrote, let's see what it did. So new trigger of export via Zapier plugin and chat fuel. I don't know what chat fuel is. Um,
well, I'm gonna open it up.
Send text message in chat fuel. Send broadcast in chat fuel. Send prompt. What is chat fuel?
It's a customer conversation solution.
Okay, so it didn't work.
It did not work. And see, this is where I don't think Zapier really has the concept of form inputs, right?
They
Or
have
do
to.
they?
They have. I mean, they have to. They have to. I mean, let's
Oh, they have
see.
tables. Did you see that? It's been a while since I've been in Zapier, obviously.
Yeah, it's been actually a few years since I have. But I think, where do we get to like the trigger tables? So you should be able to say form, like Google Forms.
Yeah, so they don't have forms.
They don't have their own built-in forms. They used to have like, maybe, but I mean, wherever else you can make a form, you can do it here. Good Lord.
Oh, but the tables is actually really interesting. So data storage for automation.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what this table is. This table thing is
I think you have to create a table, right? So you'd probably have to create a table first and then go in and use it.
where do you create tables?
Go back to there's
Oh,
tables right there,
tables.
and they have interfaces.
Now,
Did you see that?
yeah, we're gonna go look. So this is becoming a tour of Zapier this morning. Um,
All right, all right, all right. So yes, you could create a table, and then when a new row is added, then you can have it do a bunch of things.
okay, so here's a table, and I can say, for example, Zapier.com. And I can say whatever today's date is. Huh? I say, uh,
Uh,
and I can a Slack message. That's interesting. Um, huh. I don't now I actually don't know what I'm doing. I'm
well,
not
that's
sure.
because this like web clipper was like a pre-built table, right?
Yep.
So like I think the goal is to
Oh,
on
look.
create a form for this table, which makes sense.
So you can import it into the table, then it goes into the table, and then when new records are added, it kicks off a workflow.
Yeah.
There it is, right? So you can create a form. Oh, wow. Oh man. I mean,
Justin, I think we're gonna have to build something.
this really, and so this is an interface.
Yeah.
It's an interface to a data object in the system,
Yep.
right? So this submit form, you can build forms and customer portals. Wow. Wow. Um,
Yeah. So the form creation is pretty much automatic from the table.
well,
So
yes, yeah, the form creation just maps to the table fields, right? Because essentially they're just going to drop the stuff in here from into
yep.
the table.
So if you looked at share, what does the URL look? Oh, there's the form URL right there. Table interface web clipper, blah blah blah. That's
Yep.
it here. App.
So this is what it looks like. Nice, just
Dude,
chill form. This is, by the way,
dude.
this is what I built with Josh 5 years ago with CrowdSync. We built this exact thing. You could build forms and it would take the data and it would put it to another thing. You could be like, send an email and put it in this thing. It was like a primitive version of this. They have obviously done it better at scale. But this,
All right.
my mind is like reeling with the amount of things that you can do with this.
Well,
Um,
I mean, Zapier for a long time, I used it to just do like all this grunt work, which like take this email, turn it to this ticket, and like,
yep.
or once this ticket, then do this, and over
And now
time,
that it,
over time, a lot of the tools started to do those things on themselves, but Zapier is really taking it to the next level.
yeah. So then, okay,
Oh,
so you get a page.
A Kanban bot. Wow, they have turned like you could create a whole app like for your whole
I'm,
company to run off of this thing.
I'm telling you, this is what Zoho wanted to be 10 years ago. Um,
Select the data sense source. Yep.
okay, cool. So then I can
You have to group by column,
I'll just
obviously.
add without data. I don't have any data in there, I guess. So,
You can't. I mean, you wouldn't be able to use it, right? Okay.
no,
Okay. But
no, but
I we need to think about how to use this because
I can think of a I can think of a million. I think of a million ways that this can be used, right? Like, um, man, I like the interesting thing about this is I obviously Zapier's been around for a long time and they've been able to do this kind of stuff for a while, but it's reaching a point where it really is becoming almost this full no code platform for full applications at this point, right? It used to just be string APIs together and shuffle data around.
Yeah. Can you look at
And
their pricing? Sorry, I'm just to follow that
yeah,
vein of thought. If it's a full no code, how does the pricing work?
let's look and see. Let's just go to upgrade our plan and it'll tell us. Okay, so here we go. So 750 tasks a month, 1,500 tasks a month, $60. I mean, guys, this is so inexpensive. Are you kidding me? To run 1,500 things through this in a month costs you $60. Like, even if so, you could run 2 million tasks a month for $5,000.
Plus whatever the costs are for AI, because I guarantee you're gonna have to put your own API key in.
Plus, if you're using AI,
Yeah.
you
Now
would
go
have
to
to use right.
but the interesting thing is where we were talking about teams. This is where it becomes interesting, right? Because if you're trying to build your whole organization around it, you have to go to the teams level. And so let's
Yep.
say you're doing um for a small, let's say a small company, they probably have 10,000 tasks or something like that that are going to automate with Zapier, and then the rest of it would be logging in and actually using the Kanban boards, etc. What would that
Mm.
cost? $100 is not much for 2,000. Let's say we're doing
In
10,000.
10,250, I mean 10,000 different events that go through this in a month. That's a shit ton. It's a shit ton for $250 a month.
I mean, in my mind, what I'm looking at right now is building like a little marketing automation system, right? So if I could think about something, we create a table to capture the data first. So you first your table to capture the data, then send it off to OpenAI through a prompt to use that data, right? And give you more data, put it back into the table, and then take that and push it into, let's say, WordPress.
Yep.
And you could have 10,000, potentially landing pages built a month, as an example.
Yep.
Now, the
Yep.
question I have is, I don't know this. Does a single zap count as a single task? Or if there's 5 steps, does that count as 5 tasks?
No. Oh, I don't. That's a good question. I think a task is a beginning to end full run of a workflow one time.
Okay, yeah, can we confirm that? Because that actually would mean you could just create a crazy in-depth long process, right?
Exactly.
Um,
Um, Task limit. Okay, here we go. A zap is a workflow. Connect your apps. Trigger starts the zap action. Task is any successful action that a zap performs. Okay,
any.
so
Okay.
so never mind. If you have a 40-step zap, then that's 40 tasks in one run.
Oh, which again, still would be
Fine.
crazy. It's so much cheaper than having a human do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you another use case I'm thinking of right now. So one thing that we're looking at doing this year is speaking at more conferences, right? And one of the things you have to do, if you think about like if you want to go speak at conferences for marketing reasons or just to get out and spread some good vibes or whatever, like basically what you do is you go search around for conferences that are happening that are in the domain that you're looking to do, right? You make a big list of them. You go to the website, you read the website, figure out what topics they want, what the criteria are, what other people are speaking about. You come up with a topic, you write a treatment, and then you submit it, and then you hopefully get accepted, and then you can write your full talk, and then you go. Well, Now what you could do is I could say to my marketing director, I could say, hey, here's a table. Just go find conferences and just drop the URLs in. And then as soon as the URL goes in, it's going to go scrape the website, read it, and come up with 40 ideas for a talk or 20 ideas for a talk for that conference. And it's going to send it to me. And on Friday afternoons, I have an hour blocked out. Going to send me a list. I'm going to pick 5, whatever. And like it can automate the entire process for me. It can even write the proposal for me, potentially.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and
like
then
that's just another example.
yeah, and I mean that's one of the things I've done is, hey, give me 50 right ideas, and then and the one I use, you highlight the one you want, and then it kicks off the next round. So instead of kicking the round off on all 50, it's like step 1 is give me 50 ideas. Step 2 is highlight the one you want, and then it kicks off the next one. And in this case, you would just create a table for capturing conferences, and then you would create a table for pitch ideas, and then you would create a table for an outline for the pitch, right? And then you would just have it daisy chain through those steps, with a selection, probably a trigger that says, I've approved this one, now go to the next phase. I've approved this one, now go to the next phase.
Yep. And you could use the Kanban board to track all of those through their statuses, right? Ideas to shortlist to proposal generated to proposal sent to whatever. And you can literally check a pipeline that is mostly automated of that. And you could fill your conference speaking schedule super quick.
I think, maybe we next week need to build a conference planning, speech planning app. Right?
Yeah, right.
That could be fun. We could do it. We could probably do it in a week.
Oh, we could probably do it in the morning.
Yeah, maybe a bit aggressive. Maybe a bit aggressive. But
I like to be aggressive.
All right. Well, while we're here,
interface with chatbots.
Yeah, let's go ahead and click on the rest of it since we're doing a full Zapier tour this morning.
Right. So now I can create AI chatbots. This is silly.
I mean, the thing that Zapier has done really, really well is remove the need to have 50 other tools, even though it's connected to 1,000 chatbots probably on its own.
Right. So this is already a ChatGPT 3.5 model.
Which, by the way, they ChatGPT 3.5. Okay, you have to upgrade to use other models. Yeah, ChatGPT 4 is light years ahead of 3.5. And if I was trying to work with a
works out of the box.
I'm sure. I'm not saying it doesn't work out of the box, but I wouldn't want to give ChatGPT 3.5 to my customers, right? Because
no, for sure, you would upgrade. You would put in your for API key, etc. So on.
It shows the label, right? So click on the link so you can see what it looks like in a new tab. All the way up the top.
Oh,
there's that.
Yep. It's going to probably be embedded just like that form was.
Yep. Oh my God, it's so pretty.
It's so good. And what's nice is that they have pulled everything. I mean, outside the bug down here, which you can turn off.
If you upgrade.
What's nice is that it is so devoid. You can iframe this into something easily, right?
Yeah.
And which is why they've done it the way they have. They've done it so that you could do that. And you can probably style it up and you can make it look like your brand. And then, when the response comes in, I mean, y'all, this could put Intercom out of business, right? Not necessarily, because Intercom comes with a lot of other stuff. So
Intercom is pretty dang good, but holy cow, can it get expensive. Did I tell you about the time we made a mistake and our bill was like 20 grand?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. By the way, I don't like Intercom. If anyone's watching from Intercom, I do not like you.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan anymore. I mean, they were the pioneers.
They have good stuff.
Yep. Look at this thing. Canvas.
Step title. Oh, is this for you to design?
I'm not sure. How is this different than a regular a step that? This is literally what Josh Sherman and I built with CrowdSync. This is putting people through a workflow, a step that requires a person or group.
Yeah. So, guys, I have to say one of the things I've talked about a lot is the idea that people in the middle. I love people in the middle. I actually, instead of having software in the middle, I like people in the middle, right? And so software does everything, but there are steps where a human has to approve it. And that's essentially what this does. This allows you to create a Zap that has a person step. And that person step might be filling out the form. And then the whole thing runs. And then the next step might be a human approving it, right? Oh man, I like.
So what? Well, also what this. Oh my
Yes.
god.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking now next week we need to actually just try to build a sample app with Zapier.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so so the canvases are really interesting.
The
Um,
canvas is how I would build everything then, right? I would, well, first you have to build each form in each table, right? Or each table. But
but note that like this is not building zaps. This is like a layer above because you can embed zaps into this.
correct.
Yeah, right. This is
Correct.
like a kind of a meta step over it. And then you'd be like, oh, from this zap, put it into this table. And then once it's in that table, send it back to this zap. And then collect stuff through this interface. And then like whatever. I mean, this is it's hard to imagine all the possibilities here. This is really I'm glad we came and looked at this because this platform has
It's
really
what,
expanded
yeah, I
itself.
mean, it would be stupid for us to think it hadn't expanded, right? But it's expanded more than I anticipated since I've used
Same. Same. Now, well, I was gonna say what would be interesting is if you could
it. Go to, yeah,
not
go,
like,
sorry, go ahead. Go click on interfaces real quick because we didn't click on that link. Um,
yeah,
so this is the one area where I wouldn't necessarily want to run my company off of this completely because it doesn't really allow you to build like an admin interface with all the pages and those kinds of things. You physically have to go here to run everything. Maybe, unless I'm wrong, and you can create a customer portal for yourself.
I mean, a simple marketplace, a CRM, a request portal, so like support
Oh,
requests.
well, hold up. Click on simple marketplace.
Yep,
I'm just really, I gotta, we have 5 minutes until we have to stop this video.
yep.
Um, all right. So this would be a very simple marketplace, right?
So I could say, here's a service.
Add a service. Okay. And
All
then,
right. So let's just so I can um
well,
uh
you can't add right now. You'd have to go to the page, right? All
yeah,
right.
I'm configuring the
Yeah,
form.
you're configuring it. So what's the other one page look like? This
These are the
is, oh, scroll down.
So you'll see like the services, like, what do you want done? Do you want your house painted? Choose it.
All right. So that's like when it said simple, it really meant simple.
It means pretty simple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty simple.
Yeah. Yeah. But holy hell. Um, this is
Yeah. So back to, I wouldn't actually want to run my whole business off of this because it would require everyone to have like an understanding that they have to click on interfaces and then click here. This is not like a company no code software builder yet. It's a process no code software builder.
yeah, I mean, I think you could argue that because it's giving you public URLs for everything, right? Like the way that I would probably use it is I would build the process, but I would make sure that there are interfaces like forms and tables and stuff like that that all my people could use. And then I would go to my Slack team in my company. I'd be like, okay, guys, here's the URL now. When you need to submit service requests, go to this URL to do it, right? Now that URL is the form and the application that I built here, and then I can just like build any bit of logic that I need to handle those requests. Um, that is so much more powerful than almost any, say, service system that you might build. This is going to be more powerful because you can do anything you want with the data, including now augment it with AI.
Um,
It
I
is
Yeah, I don't disagree. But
pretty remarkable.
um, I think we'll probably call it there for today. And
Yeah.
let Justin and I think about how we might use this, and we might try to build something on the morning. The
Yeah.
AM AI. I'll get that right someday. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody, and have a good day.
See ya.